New York is one of the most vibrant cities in the world. There is the highest possibility of finding some of the best restaurants around the globe, incredible hotels, clubs, and so on. However, you should think that a place with so much luxury as that ought to get those that will patronize it efficiently. That's why we've come up with this video. New York is one of the cities with the most billionaires in the world. So watch on as we go into the lifestyle of the billionaires in New York City. But before that, please hit the like button and subscribe. Number 1. Henry Kravis. One of the billionaires in this city of New York is Henry Kravis, a huge businessman who boasts of his startling career in finance. He has achieved more than one can imagine in the fields of corporate finance and private equity investing. Having started as a low staffer at Bear Stearns in 1966, he teamed up with a group of like-minded entrepreneurs and set up Kohlberg Kravis Robertson Company. This company is now worth $233 billion. Despite being among the wealthiest people, he hardly showed off his wealth early. He is someone with a simple lifestyle, but a source reported that Kravis had a mansion that has 28 rooms on Park Avenue. Aside from his business, Kravis is a huge fan of politics. He is a supporter of the Republican Party. Number 2. Donald Newhouse. We will also talk about Donald Newhouse. He is the owner of Advance Publications, a company that holds a total market valuation of more than $10 billion, dwarfing the reputed $1 billion value of his other company, Condé Nast. The company gains fortunes from magazines like Vogue, Vanity Fair, and The New Yorker. As of this month, Donald Newhouse's net worth was $11.2 billion. Donald's primary residence is in New York City. He also owns in Lambertville, New Jersey, where he is the richest man. He frequently visits this estate every weekend. Donald is quite a private guy and never flaunts his riches. However, given his enormous fortune, it's safe to say that he is chauffeured around in some of the fanciest cars the market offers. Number 3. Stephen Ross. Stephen Ross is also one of the billionaires in the city of New York. Ross is the chairman of Related Companies, which has a portfolio of developments that includes the Time Warner Center, Hudson Yards, Equinox, and SoulCycle. According to its website, this enterprise currently owns, or let's say, is developing more than $60 billion worth of properties worldwide. From Los Angeles to London to Abu Dhabi, Ross's real estate portfolio consists of luxury condos, affordable and workforce housing, company headquarters, retail spaces, hotels, and city centers. One of the company's properties is the most expensive real estate development in U.S. history, which is the Hudson Yards. This yard has been called a playground for billionaires due to its expansiveness. About half of Hudson Yards was complete at the time of its opening, and the remainder is expected to be completed by 2025, Crain's New York reported last year. Luxury condos in the neighborhood start at $4.3 million and can exceed $32 million. Katie Warren, a journalist with the Business Insider, commented that when the yard is finished, it will have a luxury mall, office spaces, a performing arts space, public gardens, and the highest outdoor observation deck in the Western Hemisphere. Apart from this billion-dollar conglomerate, Ross owns the NFL football team, the Miami Dolphins, for up to $1 billion. He purchased 50% of the team in 2008, including the stadium and all surrounding land, for $550 million. The following year, he purchased an additional 45% of the team for $450 million. Another businessman, Wayne Huizenga, owns the remaining 5%. Ross is also a huge philanthropist, as he holds several esteemed positions at various nonprofit institutions, from healthcare to arts and culture. He is a trustee of Lincoln Center and New York Presbyterian Hospital. He's also a director on the boards of the Jackie Robinson Foundation, the New York Stem Cell Foundation, and the World Resources Institute. Ross is so big on philanthropy, particularly for sustainability and higher education. He has donated over $450 million to his alma mater, the University of Michigan, over the years. He has also donated $20 million to the NYU School of Law, another alma mater, according to Inside Philanthropy. He gifted $30.5 million to the World Resources Institute to establish the W.R.I. Ross Center for Sustainable Cities. The organization's goals are to integrate urban planning, sustainable transport, energy and climate change, and water resources. He recently pledged an additional $63.5 million to the center. With all these fundraising efforts, Ross is reported to be considering the New York mayoral race in 2021. He has been known to give money to both the Democrats and Republican parties throughout the years. It is also known that Ross and his wife moved out of their $75 million house to Hudson Yards in 2019. It's been a long time since Ross has been working and living in the penthouse. but he put it on the market. The Time Warner Center penthouse boasts a 42-foot-long living room, marble floors, a massive art collection, and 5 bedrooms. They plan on moving into a penthouse at 35 Hudson Yards. It's touted as the more upscale neighbor of 15 Hudson Yards and is the tallest residential neighborhood in Hudson Yards. Aside from his main residence, Ross has spent more than $500 million building up his real estate portfolio in New York and Florida. In New York City, he purchased a $6.9 million condo in Tribeca and an apartment in the West Village. While it's unknown how much he paid for the latter, parts of other units at the time of the purchases were as high as $35 million. He also owns a 9,148 square foot property on a nearly 3-acre lot in Southampton, which is valued at $11.4 million. That's not to mention his Palm Beach, Florida oceanfront mansion, known as The Reef, for which he reportedly paid $31.8 million. He previously owned a 4-bedroom condo in the city, which he purchased for $6.3 million and later sold for $12.1 million. Ross always has something to do whenever he's free from working in his real estate company, getting philanthropic, or getting politically involved. He spends his time boating, golfing, and exercising. Number 4. George Soros. I think most of these New York billionaires have politics running through their veins. They don't want to mind their business only, but also have a say in the political world. George Soros is a good example of a person who spends huge amounts on causes like politics. Soros was born in Budapest during the Nazi era, but fled from there with his parents to London, where he worked as a waiter in a nightclub. In 1956, Soros moved to New York and got a job trading foreign stocks for F.M. Meyer. He founded his company, Quantum Fund, in 1973. Quantum later became the largest hedge fund in the world. Quantum's success made Soros a billionaire. His net worth is now $8.3 billion. He has retired from the company now and has passed it over to his sons. Soros owns a duplex on Manhattan's Fifth Avenue that has a view of the Central Park Reservoir. He also owns a residential compound in Katonah, New York. Number 5. Leonard Lauder. More so, the $35 billion worth of Leonard Lauder also lives in New York. Lauder is an American billionaire, philanthropist, and art collector. He and his brother Ronald Lauder are the sole heirs to the Estee Lauder Company's fortune, founded by their parents in 1946. In 2013, Lauder promised his collection of Cubist art to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. The collection is valued at over $1 billion and constitutes one of the largest gifts in the museum's history. Lauder is an avid lover of art. His art collection is worth more than $2 billion. Lauder is a major art collector, but his particular focus, rather than on American artists, is on works by the Cubist masters Picasso, Braque, Gris, and Leger. He also collects Klimt. Much of his art comes from some of the world's most celebrated collections. Lauder owns over 15 luxury cars in his garage. His car collection includes a Bentley Continental GT worth $900,000, Lexus GX worth $160,000, Rolls-Royce Cullinan worth a massive $1 million, Range Rover Sport worth $210,000, a $260,000 Porsche 911, and the Rolls-Royce Dawn is worth $1 million. Leonard Lauder also owns over 20 real estate properties across the United States. He recently bought a $20,000 square foot villa in Florida for a price of $37 million. A few other houses owned by Leonard Lauder are a Phoenix estate worth $5 million, a building worth $3 million in Oklahoma, another of the same amount in Denver, and a $16 million estate in Seattle, among others. Lauder has long been a major benefactor of the Whitney Museum of American Art. In 1971, he joined the museum's acquisitions board, and in 1977, as then president of his family's business, he became a Whitney trustee. He has donated both money and many works of art to the Whitney and is the museum's most prolific fundraiser. His 2008 donation to it of $131 million is the largest in the museum's history. Unlike some billionaires, New Yorkers had a way of doing everything so that it worked well. Most of the billionaires were mature people who knew how to spend their money, most especially in philanthropy. If you eventually become a billionaire, how will you spend your money? Let us know in the comment box. Kindly subscribe to our channel and click on the notification bell to see more of our videos. Thanks!